Welcome back once again to VCT EMEA. I'm your host, Yingsu. I got Billy here with me, and we're joined by the IGL of GiantX. It is Cloud. Now, Cloud, massive congratulations. That was a crazy game out there. And I just had a chat with your teammate Tomazi on stage, and he gave a lot of credit to you. He said you're a great leader, being able to help your team through times like this. And of course, you've been in a lot of overtimes. This is not new for you. You've been in a lot of maps where it goes a very, very long time. So do you feel like your experience and your role as a leader does help your team to make sure that you win in those situations?
Yeah, first of all, thank you. But yeah, actually, like the more official you play, the more experience you grow, and yeah, that's it. I'm just thankful that I have great teammates that they're working even harder when they're losing, and they're not giving up. And that's it.
We also saw Pipson laugh a lot today, like in a nice way. Usually, you know, we see him on the camera, he's quite stressed. He was really chill today. He was laughing, he was smiling. Was he like that behind the stage?
I mean, we had problems with playing the same as Prax on officials. So, and that's why Pipson was like a lot of times stressed because of that. And we had a talk after the last game. And I think this talk actually helped us a lot, going through the like emotions and mental part. It was mostly about our mental part, that we couldn't like cross this border on officials, you know. And today we actually crossed it, and it was great, I think.
Yeah. You look great. You look great. I don't want to again like bring up any old wounds because it just happened. But on Bind, could have been a 2-0 today. It feels like. And yeah, Tomazi kind of tried to explain a little bit on stage already, some context. But I want to hear from you, considering it felt like your team was trying to get you the orb in showers towards the end of that map, and then it ended up going overtime because you got bombarded and completely destroyed by all the util, the gecko molly, and then the deadlock grab. And then it ended up being overtime. What was the plan in that round? Was the goal to just get you ult?
Yeah, it was planned like to get a shower, but it was pretty safe because we started 4 and it was like against TP and stuff. So basically, I think we didn't spend util how we should spend them, like in showers, because they broke our flash, and I think our people just didn't expect that they're gonna actually commit till the end to the fight, and that's it.
They did it a couple of times. I felt like they were kind of liking just throwing a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, they did it once on our first buy round. Actually, game was close, but they won both pistols, which is like kind of 4 rounds. So I think in that case, I can say like we kind of dominated buy rounds from them, and that's it.
I mean, once you watch it back as well, I'm sure you're gonna, you know, have a lot of things. But it was a great match. We were very, very entertained. The next game is also gonna be an elimination match, and this one is between NAVI and Fanatic. Now, Cloud, I'm sure you've watched a lot of NAVI versus Fanatics. I feel like this is a mainstay in Valorant in general. But the interesting thing is, this game usually happens a bit later. You know, like maybe a lower final, maybe a semi or some point, and this is the first time ever we're going to see these two teams actually try and eliminate each other in round 1. I'm going to ask you the $1 million question, Cloud. Why do you think we're seeing them so early on? Why do you think they were both kind of not doing great on their opening games?
I think like for Navi, it's mostly like they have a couple of rookies guys for the first time on VCT in Tier 1, and they couldn't show themselves. But for Fnatic, I think for Fnatic it's just teams that are surprising a lot, and actually a lot of good pickups from Tier 2 that players are skilled. They're just going, no strats, no util, you can just go kill 3 and you won the round. You know, in the end of the day, it's a game about mechanics, you know, and if you're not shooting good, you lost. No matter which strats you have.
The cracked aimers, you feel like. Yeah. You think maybe Fnatic don't have enough aimers right now?
Right now, maybe.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, you have to think back to, you guys got put down to the lower bracket by BBL, and it's the same situation for Fnatic as well. So I hear you when you're saying it is just cracked aimers at that point.
Yeah, there's no scenario where Boaster should be top fragging. Let's be honest. Like, I'm just going to say it.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm going to say it how it is. Earlier, I did actually get a chance to talk to one of the newer members of NAVI. Here's Hero. Take a look at this. I'm now joined by a returning face here at VCT EMEA. It's Hero from NAVI. Now, the last time we saw you in this arena, as in before this tournament started, of course, you were a winner. You lifted a trophy on the stage. So tell me what's been different since, you know, what's it been like in the off-season and also joining NAVI as well?
I mean, it was a good feeling, like winning trophies, obviously. It makes me happy. like how has it been? Like off season was like relaxing, I would say. Just like taking a break, like focusing on like other things, like hanging out with family. And then coming back is like, I mean, the first game was like a little bit of like a reality check, I would say, like learning phase, I would say. It like set like the standards of like what we need to do and like what is like actually expected and like what is expected from us.
I mean, of course, you just came in here and started playing Omen and Vice. So is it true what they say that when you join NAVI, you know, under an IGL like Angel, you're expected to just do new things?
Yeah, I mean, a few things. Like, other than that, like, mostly the same, I would say. But a few things that will be, like, new.
Has it been a challenge for you at all? Or you just feel comfortable doing this?
It's been a little bit of a challenge. Like, I think it was the first time I played Omen, like, in general. Like, I played it in, like, ranked, obviously, but in, like, scrims and, like, officials. Like, it was my first time, so it was a little bit of a challenge, but it went well.
Yeah, and how does this team, I guess, compare to what it was like on Fnatic? Because I'm not sure if you've seen, Alpha said in a tier list, he was like, I got to put NAVI a bit higher because, you know, my ex-teammate plays on NAVI, and it feels like they still think of you very fondly. So, yeah, well, how different are the vibes?
I mean, the vibes are, I would say, like, similar. Like, there's definitely, like, similarities between the vibes. And, like, I'd say, like, both teams are, like good teams. Like, they have good energy. Like, you learn a lot from them. Like, in Fnatic, I had, like, Boaster, like, Chronicle, Alpha, like, Derke, all those people to, like, learn from. Now I have, like, my coach, like, Happy, like, Angel, like, Shao, like, all these, like, experienced people again to, like, learn from. And, I mean, it's a good feeling. You're
just currently surrounded by great people, I feel like. And very quickly, lastly, I mean, you want to win today, right? It is still your old team. But it's a friendly. Is it friendly? It's not like a super toxic rivalry, right? It's like a nice, wholesome one.
It's a wholesome one.
That's how you feel? Okay, I can't wait to see some wholesomeness on stage. And good luck in your game.
Thank you.
I mean, we just saw Mazzy take down his former team, so maybe a bit of a theme when it comes to Hero. But yeah, as we remember, Hero, he came to Fnatic as a sub, and then instantly Billy just win the trophy here in EMEA. I think some people might even be confused as to why they didn't keep him.
Yeah, I mean, Hero as a player, he has a lot to be proud of, right? He was only playing in Challengers up until 2023 and then joined Fnatic as a stand-in, but was such a main pinnacle point of their road to champs, right? Like, we can't forget about that. So yeah, I think given the fact that he's only 18 as well, he has so many accomplishments to be proud of.
Well, what are your thoughts on Hero? What do you make of him?
I mean, when you are joining the best team back then, of course you're gonna be the fifth one, the best player, and that's it. That's all what I can say. Like, when you are sitting with the friends and they're all rich, you're gonna become a sixth guy who is gonna be rich. So it kind of happened to him, I think, to be honest. Because when you're joining the best team, you're getting the best experience. You're like, you have confidence that you're in the best team and you're becoming a great player.
Built up for success, right? Yeah. Built up for success. However, when it comes to successes of this year so far, Billy, it wasn't great for Fnatic, and they had a very good opportunity last week to take a win if it weren't for the fact that another team made a comeback against them on Split. Who would have thought? What era are we living in?
I know, we talk about the 9-3 curse, but the 9-3 curse actually going against Fnatic. I mean, I do want to say Crashies did have a great debut in that series. You know, his supportive utility was really, really good, but often uses to delay BBL rather than set someone else up, I want to note. But yeah, no, I think that BBL, they were just able to find gaps in Fnatic's defense, which allowed them to get kind of back into that split map. It was just, I mean, that closing round as well, it was kind of poetic for Vax to kind of be the stand-in to end up closing out. So yeah, tough one for Fnatic.
Yeah, and Vag, for me that day, probably the best player on the server. He had a great performance too. Let's talk about NAVI on this other side. We also saw some stuff from them as well. You're familiar with Lotus. If you want to turn around super quick, what do you make of this, Cloud?
I don't have the turnaround. I know their comp.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I have like so many different thoughts about their comp because mostly on this map you want to fight for the area, and their comp is pretty weak for the fighting. So I don't like. Me personally, I don't like this comp. But however, they have some good ideas which they want to execute, and it's needed to be executed.
You would expect a team like Fnatic to be able to exploit this, right? If they go to Lotus, if they see this, they might have some ideas.
Yeah, of course. If NAVI, for example, will keep the comp, I think they will find something for sure.
Okay, for me, I just feel like when it comes to the comms, we'll talk about it a little bit later with Mavitos, is that it will be the first time that NAVI don't have that ascent. Historically, whenever Fnatic play NAVI, the ascent just always goes to NAVI. They have a nice time. They can actually be able to push it to map 3. They win. I think they've won every single one of their ascents. That's not in the pool today, so it'll be very interesting to see what maps we're going to get out of them. But also, there's 2, of course, new duelists in this head-to-head. We've seen so many crazy duelists on both of these teams in the past, and we're currently living in the Koala versus Kayak era. Cloud, what do you make of this head-to-head?
To be honest, both great players, but I've seen how Koala Noob played, and he's kind of from the first game. I really like how he played. He performed good. He didn't feel like a lot of pressure on him, and I see from him insane potential in the future, to be honest. So I'll give my point to him, to be honest. From the other side, I don't see Kayak like doing the same great things which he did in Tier 2, for example. Like, I think he has some pressure on him right now, and he cannot unleash himself.
Also, you're filling in Derke's shoes, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the hardest job in the world.
It's
Hardest job in the world.
Yes, because Derke as a player, I think he's like doing a massive job for his team, you know? He's doing a lot of things. So losing player as a Derke, it's pretty hard to replace him.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. I think that the Kayak that we've seen in Challengers last year, I mean, granted, it was Apex. They were dominating absolutely everyone. Yeah, we've just not really seen him come alive just yet, and he is that player that is known to have landers. We've seen it at Ascension Grand Finals against Pacific. We're seeing it now in his VCT debut, and I just really hope that he can warm up to the stage. As for Koala Noob, get him off the stage, please, for the love of God. Get my guy off the stage. I want to see him on Duelist. I want to see him running it down. He was so explosive.
Yeah, one thing that probably we won't see him on, which is the Tejo, because Angel has, you know, decided that he will be the one playing it, which is not super surprised, you know, given what Shao was doing as well. And Alpha on the other side, it's not Chronicle or Crashies playing. So, Cloud, do you think this is a good idea? You think this is the right players to play Tejo on their teams?
To be honest, yeah, I think for Angel it's good. He just throw missiles, throw drone, and go in, you know? For him it's pretty simple. For Fnatic, I don't remember who played.
Alpha. Yeah,
I think, to be honest, that's weird for me, because I'm pretty sure like Chronicle or Crashes could play like super good, and Alpha just play duelist.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I want to also agree with that. I think the way in which Alpha was using Tail, don't get me wrong, it was good. He was able to kind of delay plants that the other team were trying to put down, but I just think that like he's not able to follow up off the back of Tejo's utility, right? So like he's not being able to go in and take those aim duels, which is what we know Alpha for, his aim duels.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been a week and we haven't seen him play ISO. You know, out of all the things Fnatic should be doing, I think I'm with you too here. But this is the thing, just like the first match we saw, elimination is on the line here. If they want to make it to Masters Bangkok, they got to survive another day. So let's bring the teams out onto stage. Here is NAVI and Fnatic.
With me.
It is the 11th time in the history of Valorant that we're getting treated to a NAVI versus Fnatic. If you weren't there for the first 10 times, what were you doing? But you're here for the 11th, and let's take a look at the map vetoes and see what these teams want to ban and take away and select, because like I said, these teams have played against each other a lot of times, so we've pretty much seen them play every single map in the pool at this point. And Billy, Fnatic are gonna ban the Abyss.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not too happy with their performance against BBL the other day. Perhaps it is Alpha being on that Taeho and not being able to set Kai up in the way in which they wanted to, that they're just going to decide to completely take that out the pool. Fracture picking into that one is no surprise for me, but Haven leaving that as a decider, that could get tasty if we do get to this point.
I am absolutely floored that NAVI has given Fnatic both Fracture and Haven. Surely, Cloud, you ban one, right? And then you give him the other. You don't give them both.
To be honest, for me, Veto looks like a NAVI.
Oh, okay. Explain why.
NAVI have been pretty good on Fracture back then. They were playing pretty good, and so I do believe that they are still understanding how the map works. Pearl for NAVI, I think is pretty good because Kala Noob is gonna unleash his op finally, and then Haven, yeah, it's debatable, but I still do believe that. I mean, it's 50-50. Let's say like the decider map is 50-50.
I agree with you on Pearl. I think Pearl, fantastic pick from Na'Vi. I think Fnatic should anticipate that if they ban Abyss, a team like Na'Vi is going to pick Pearl. Give you a bit of stat, Na'Vi has never beaten Fnatic on Fracture. So that's why I feel like it's a little bit skewed.
I like it, but I feel as though the Fracture that we've seen from Fnatic the other day, it's just nothing new from what we've seen from them in the past, which can be easy to combat.
Okay, and we are getting another Taeho on Alpha. I guess we're not going to see him on the duel list. It's just not happening. On the other side, Shao on the KO as well. What do you guys make of this?
I am happy to see Boaster back onto the Astra and the fact that they've moved Chronicle onto that Killjoy. Chronicle on Killjoy, though, I'm intrigued to see how it works. And I know that we were just kind of having a little bit of, oh, was Alpha really the right person to play Taeho? For me, it really just depends on how they're going to be able to set Kayak up on that attack side.
I think it's a crime that we have Shao on the server not playing Sova. But Cloud, we got a Pansy and Mini casting. Would you like to toss it over to them? They're waiting for you.
Good luck, guys. Make casting really good. Like, I will watch.
I like that. That feels very motivating. If Cloud's watching, then the pressure is on. Thank you so much. And we've got to say it, this is a high-stakes game. One of the pillars of EMEA will crumble today. Now, looking at that map veto surface level, I feel as though if there was a time for Fnatic to look good, it's got to be now.
Yeah, I mean, Cloud coming in with what I presume is some scrimbucks on Na'Vi, but from my point of view as an outsider, letting Fracture and Haven, which look like Fnatic's best maps.
Yes.
I mean, Haven last year was, you know, they were the best in the world at it. Let's not beat around the bush. Fracture's been a historically amazing map for them, so Na'Vi need to prove to us that they've built in a trap. They've got something prepared for Fnatic today.
Neither team can be happy about how things started. Obviously, Fnatic against BBL and Na'Vi against Carmine Corp, but time to pick up the pieces, right? These two teams came into this year with high hopes, big roster changes, and new looks. Now they got to stick the landing. Fnatic, of course, on the attacking side, Na'Vi on the defense. We are seeing that agent swap coming in as well, the addition of Taeho. Got to see how that looks. I'll be touching base with you and your thoughts towards it, seeing Alpha in that sort of role.
I've seen a very scripted pistol round from Fnatic here. Boaster kind of special. We got some pressure towards B and then some pressure towards R. I'm not sure where the eventual end is coming from. Looks like it's going to be a B split, which is not bad on the pistol round going through that tiny choke point because you don't get sprayed down. Big kill from Chronicle.
Yeah,
Traded
lovely. Chronicle's been a bit of a star as well as of late.
It's all down to Hero.
Yeah, and he's just been swept aside. There's not much you can do. You're hoping for silver linings at the best. But Blant's going to be in. Down to 3, make it 2. Koala Noob and Shao going to have to try and suffer through this. Can they cause some problems? Or is this post-plant simply too strong? We've talked about post-plant utility. It's deadly here, especially with Taeho coming in. Everything else on top. That's not even mentioning Crashy's involved into this. Boaster involved. You can just leave, you know, your Yoru just kind of posted forward, take a bit of contact, kind of play off the back of it, and they have no idea, really. They have to get past the first hurdle. They're trying to eye up the second or the third, but yeah, this is looking clean from Fnatic, looking prepared here. Xiao, well, he can make a go of it, but you can already see the stall is there. Xiao's options, after getting 2 kills, looking 0 to none. Gets a 3rd for himself, so not bad, but Fnatic with the 1st.
Yeah, that post plant, I know he's in the crowd today, Mr. Derke. That reminded me of a Derke-style post plant where we'd always leave him deep into a site, and then everyone else is just, let Derke do what he wants, and then we just play for post plant. So shout out to Mr. Derke for that one.
Go 1 game without mentioning Derke. Impossible
no,
for Mini.
I gotta bring him in, you know.
Yeah, it is true. He is his.
It was a good pistol, though. I liked the layers coming in from...
Sorry.
I'll leave that one for
even the crowd's jeering at him. All right.
It's going to start a riot.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit rowdy. Bloody hell, Tech pause this early. It's Fnatic. See, now you get to enjoy the other side of Fnatic.
Yeah.
They've spilt something. Yeah, knew it. Knew it all along, Mini.
It was it. He was getting fined.
I'm trying to see which admin's like closing in. I don't see anything yet. Angel.
Locked in.
Has he blinked yet?
No.
There's still no blink. Absolutely no blinking. Hopefully we can get an update as to what the issues are. But let's kind of talk about this then, because, you know, we do have the beauty of having Fnatic's ex-coach in here getting to witness this in an elimination game, right? Yep. The highest stakes possible. Obviously, if you're Fnatic, losing out to BBL was not the start you were looking for, but I think it was the fashion in which they lost that worried people. And I think it's a fair worry. Do you think they are quick fixes? Are these things that are going to take time? Where is your mind going? Put yourself in a position now. You're coming into an elimination game. Are the things that you saw in that first series still a worry for you now? Or do you think they are things that you could have fixed during that time?
I mean, the things I saw, I would be able to fix.
So happy you said it.
I don't know if they're going to spot the same weaknesses. I think that they did. I spoke to them after the game. Sure. We saw each other in the lobby. It seemed like they did have a pretty good clue as to what went wrong. They were like, what, 9-3 up on a defensive split. We probably having a bit of a different conversation if they didn't just absolutely inch their defense on a new level. So one thing that does worry me a little bit is the kind of standard approach. Like, they haven't rolled the dice on many of these comps. And
hold on, let's talk about the meta change then, because it feels like if you roll your minds back, I always thought of Fnatic as one of those kind of like mad geniuses when it came to these compositions, right? They'd come up with something super quirky, roll the dice, and it actually looked quite good with them, very creative and taking risks, and it landed. We didn't see them instantly go to the Tejo. They kind of stayed on that sort of ISO idea that they had, a little bit of a different look. What do you make of that? What's that kind of say to you, bigger picture, that they don't believe in the new meta? I mean, they're running something pretty meta-y right now.
Yeah, I mean, I quite enjoy this. Pearl is one of those maps where I personally don't have the hardest read on how I'd surround the Teo, but I still like the Teo enough that I'm happy with what they're doing. I think it's just they are kind of risk-adverse in a way that... Like the way I approached 2023 with the super team is that we needed to win as much as possible, as low variance as possible. So we wanted a consistent strategy, and that meant playing very kind of standard-ish kind of comps that had lots of breadth. Whereas I think that things have changed a little bit, especially after last year not hitting the same heights. And then now we've got, like, Leo's not on the team, Derke is not on the team. It's a very different look. So I would be more happy if they did roll the dice a bit more on the Teo and lean into that. And I think Boaster's the perfect IGL for it. Like, he enjoys making those kind of big XX that the Teo kind of thrives in.
And it seems that someone was listening. Production here going to give us a little out while the tech pause is being resolved. We're going to hear from Boaster's thoughts on how Fnatic are preparing for 2025.
The lessons from last year that we're applying to this new season is the lesson of having fun. I think we put way too much stress on ourselves, and we started quite late. We started in January, so we were a bit behind, and then when it came to kickoff, we weren't playing as well as we'd hoped we would be. So this year we've already prepped in 2024, and now going into 2025, we're feeling pretty good. You know, I don't feel like I have so much work to do. This year I feel like I'm already kind of cleaning and tidying up what we already have, which is always a nice feeling because it allows me to focus on myself as well.
Well, having fun's a nice idea. How do you feel about fun? Are you a fun haver in your losses? You're like, don't worry guys, we had a good time. Oh, who's that? It's your favourite player? And you're like, oh, Minnie's yapping about him again.
Boaster was clapping too.
True, true. But let's kind of also flip the script a little bit. We've kind of spent a lot of time Fnatic because obviously you're here. It's very easy to break into that. But on the other side for Na'Vi, I think there's a lot of question marks around them as well. That Carmine Core performance, they were willing to roll the dice a little more, right? We saw Tejo coming out. We saw them being the first people in EMEA to take that risk. Now, did we like it? Was it the best application? But Na'Vi is still one of those teams that demand a lot of respect, considering the roster here and that potential. But where did that fall short in your mind, at least in Game 1? Was there something clear enough for you? Or is it still just a bit debatable? First game coming in, too many unknowns.
I thought, to be honest, it was the defense sides that really let them down. Okay. I tried to watch back because that was my first cast, I think, trying to keep up with what Na'Vi were doing. And I think they used a different setup for 12 different rounds. So, and it wasn't like beautiful, well-tailored kind of, it was just like, oh, KO is going to be with A this round, next round B. We'll play 3A this round, 3B. Like, it didn't seem like they had the kind of structured defense that many of the other teams do. And that's a bit of a worry for a team like this, where you've got rookies coming into the team who need that structure. And they're not the same team they were, where they have the experience to play a bit looser in those moments. So that's the biggest takeaway from me. I think the other thing is they're still maybe burning the cooking a little bit sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, a little overcooking here and there.
Yeah, I like the Tejo, but they surrounded it with Koala Noob Sage and was it a Vice 2? And then double smokes. It was many different themes going on. I didn't quite understand what was happening.
Didn't see the method to the madness.
No.
No. But, we've got signs out. I do like a sign. Oh, they've gone away from the signs. Apparently, though, the players are almost ready to get back underway, so thank you very much. Are they asking for a gun, buddy? Come on. Come on.
You can do that, can't you?
No, that's you.
When will Mini play? Was that the question?
I don't think that's the question.
That's a good one.
I don't think that's the question at all, actually. But it does seem as though the players are ready. Thank you for your patience and the little Q&A session we had going on. Hold on, you're only here for Yinzu. Oh. Fair point. Fair point. Yeah, well, it's hurt my feelings a touch, but it's cool. Just scribble my name at the bottom, please. 13 seconds, we're back underway. Thank you for waiting around. Hopefully that's the only one that we get here as we dive into the second round. And we want to see a bit of stability from Na'Vi, right? We want to see them maybe not cook a little too much.
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect composition when we talk about boring standard Valorant. This is the map that they've always loved to do this on. I think Na'Vi historically are about maybe like 14 wins and 1 loss, something around that. I don't have exact stats, but they're very good on this map and very good at playing it standard. The only interesting thing I'll note is that Angel on the Sova and Shao on the KO.
Would you prefer it flipped?
I don't think so. I don't like Angel and KO, to be honest with you. But Shao on Sova is hard to not,
not enjoy. Yeah, you're right. How do you bring that in? Now, we did see the stack coming out from Na'Vi. Predominantly over towards that B site. There was 4 players. You've already seen one of them start to lean away, that being Shao. And Fnatic are playing very slow here. This is a very slow approach to that.
It's interesting how they're going to use these double drones. A bit of inefficiency here using the Tejo drone and the Sova drone in the same spot, but I'm interested to see how that works on Pro.
Revealing area.
Okay, let's see. There shouldn't be much resistance here. It is just Shao kind of chilling. And only with classics, it should be part of the course. And for Fnatic, you want to see 5 standing. Yeah, well, good luck, Shao. There was just the Armageddon just being thrown at him towards pit, but not the ult, just the amount of util. But the other 4 feels formality-wise. Boaster gets put to his seat. Looks like they're going to get him down.
Only the Ghost to pick up, though.
Yeah, again, you could afford to lose another. Alpha could go down, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but you do want to keep, at bare minimum, the 2 Vandals. Chronicle doing his best Derke impression. Skin-wise, at least.
Not gun buddy-wise, though.
No.
Riot gun buddy. Maybe Chronicle doesn't have one.
You reckon?
Oh, no, they get them all unlocked, I think.
Now we're getting into a little bit of a worrying time. We don't want to see anyone else lose these weapons here. Chronicle has gone down. Rook 6 cost them a great deal. Na'Vi chipping away at Fnatic's finances. That's a huge round for Na'Vi, even in a loss.
Yeah, I mean, that's the almost best thing that they could hope for in that
round.
Without a win. I want to see how much damage is actually caused, but that's a rough... Like, there was no need for Fnatic to lose members in that post plant, really. Like, they were set up in a position where they don't need to.
Yeah, that's a little bit worrying for me. Being punished in that sort of position.
Just some over peaks, to be honest with you.
It's still fine. We won the round. It's fine.
That's some.
That's the player mentality right there. Don't worry, guys.
I mean, Chronicle's good at keeping the mood good. You know, he's good at stabilizing the mood. But yeah, as we see, 3 Vandals, 2 Sheriffs. It looks like they can buy next round, so it's not the worst, but not ideal.
Kickoff got the ult as well, so could be the emergency button if they don't have something pre-built for it. But I'm looking at Koala Noob here. His aggression was pretty impressive before, and even Cloud alluding to it, that operator that could come out to play, something to add into the mix, especially on a map like this, could be lovely. For now, it's Hero actually with the Outlaw on the other side of things. But Fnatic kind of taking their time around the map.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. We've seen so much of the slow A main defaults from teams. To see a team actually come out and explore B at the start it's an interesting sign for me. I'm quite optimistic. We saw it both in the pistol as well. Trying to push up. The goal would be to try and push off the Jet player that is there, Koala, or even kill the turret that would be spotting, and then create kind of a question mark towards that space, forcing out Angel to keep these re-clears.
I would say there's that litter of utility. Yeah, the front line's going to be a little bit rough because for Kayak, he can just skip past it. But beyond that, you can see them trying to isolate Rookstick here, but Kayak's going to have his work cut out. It is almost a fair fight, and this Rookstick should be out of that flash, trying to pre-fire a little on the corner. Kayak's got him. Okay, so they've got pit control, but the rotations are here. 3 players from the Na'Vi side make it towards the side. Kayak again gets a line up for himself. Angel and Koala both being punished from this, and it feels like this one's a wrap. Xiao still sticking around here, but I don't know what you're meant to be able to achieve. And there's even a bit of a lurk on that too. If Boaster did decide to gap close, he does only have the Sheriff. Could have gone for a bit more here. Hero trying to live up to the title, but it's going to be hard. And he cost them much. I don't know if he can. Chow starts to get closer. It's certainly not over yet. Chronicle's got a Sheriff, so does Boaster, but the time, I think, has eluded them. So Na'Vi deciding to try and keep what they have. Boaster's going to hear this. Can they recover weapons or not? I'm looking to see if Crashies can grab something. Not Crashies, I'm absolutely lying to you. That'd be Chronicle. And he does get the Guardian, I guess. I mean, it's not the ideal outcome. Boaster, can you cost him much? Nice try. He did try and get the 2 weapons at the end. Xiao catches him, but economy-wise, I guess they keep this moving, so that round 2, even though it was costly, they kind of get away with.
Yeah, I mean, a big round from Fnatic. You're taking that every single day. At the end, couldn't damage the economy enough, but I liked the exec. The ults, using the kind of tail salvos to give space for the Yoru to kind of come out of that space. I was really worried until he did that, like what was going to happen, because they were stuck in the A main choke, Kayak had no support, and just that little kind of bit of creativity I thought was quite nice.
And we have a really early timeout, round 4 timeout. Happy's yapping away as well. What are you checking in with on round 4? Maybe tendencies you've seen or something?
He's noticed something that he doesn't like. I don't know what it is, but...
I mean, either, because this is so early.
It could be something to do with the fact that Fnatic are defaulting towards B in a way that many teams that we see right now on Pro aren't. And it could be to do with that. Like, Na'Vi did have a 3-person fight ready, and they kind of backed away from it a little bit, so it could be, yeah, it could be something to do with that. Otherwise, I have no idea. Sometimes these timeouts could be a player is not having a great time, or someone's getting frustrated, and just time out and just, you know, calm everyone down again.
I mean, yeah, it's all theory crafting now, but if we're looking at the board as well, got to say it, Kayak's having an absolute map so far. 7-3 for him. What a start here. And a lot of pressure on that man's shoulders. If you talk about the sort of shoes he's trying to fill, that is a very difficult role to walk into. So we'll see if he keeps that level of performance up throughout this, doing very well early on here in the first 3 rounds. Obviously for Na'Vi here, the 2 rifles that were kept, still in check. That's with Hero and Xiao. Looks like they want to try and apply this as early as possible. And no, I mean, big takeaway, a little bit of a tag on towards it, but dismantling it very quickly.
And Fnatic have just switched to the kind of classic A main default. I do like the fact that Boaster is getting a bit cheeky towards the B long. Like, I think he used that smoke to kind of create pressure, like you might see a Cypher do. So I like that aggression from him.
And I like the Na'Vi, though, in response, are trying to take space. You've got to take a little bit of a risk in these sort of rounds. You have the 2 Vandals to try and bring in to make some sort of impact happen. So playing as a bit of a pack here, leaving pretty much Angel to his own devices, the rest trying to stay together, the buddy system coming into effect.
It feels like they're making the right read. It looks like Fnatic are going to group up for this B exec, and Na'Vi are reading into it quite well.
but it's still going to be really hard to hold the site or even play retake, depending on how they want to approach it, considering that discrepancy in the economy. That's going to be a big factor. Now for Fnatic, you're arguing again, keep it clean, keep it simple on the X-Tech. You've got a couple of lurks potentially coming in, so don't forget about that. But Fnatic need to win the site out. It's getting a little late now. 25 seconds, I start to get worried. But luckily, you got Teho there, clearing out the corners. Alpha, gonna find Hero. Angel does catch one. Koala Noob with another. This is not out of the woods just yet. Plant should be in. Nothing to deny that, but Xiao still has that rifle. He has a good kit as well. Util's still in place. They're going to know Crashies is towards the back of the site. That's 100% information on that. Rooksik is going to be holding this down for a second longer. Flash to the left. They're going to have to deal with one of these two sides. Difficult here now. Want to try and get this defuse started. Who moves first? The double swing from Long. It's Chronicle to close it out. And Fnatic, even though it got a little close, keep 3 standing and another round for themselves.
Yeah, as you highlighted, I think that the gun disparity really kind of showed that. I think Alpha had a round and we didn't see... Yeah, big trades from Alpha, really. Like, that is what won them the round, in my opinion.
The URE is back. Now, got to bring attention to it. The big green is out and about. The operator in the hands of Koala Noob. This could give them a lot more pressure.
On Boaster as well.
Huh?
I thought you were highlighting Boaster there.
No. No, I'm not a believer in the Boaster op, but I've seen it before. I don't... Do you encourage that?
No. But the way to coach Boaster is you got to give him that little bit of like disrespect, and then he's got to kind of prove it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a kind of like game you play with him. So deep down, I kind of don't mind it, but you got to pretend. I have to pretend that I.
Got you. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Psychological warfare.
Yeah,
I put on my players. But again, is that B-long pressure that he's creating with that off is like interesting. Beautiful reclear from Xiao though.
Yeah, Kayak just completely unaware of the possibility that could even come his way. The fact that Xiao just pushes out like that.
Yeah, signature NAVI really. We were talking about it earlier about like the idea that NAVI as a team, they're always going to be reclearing. Angel was born and bred from Counter-Strike, and it's a kind of Counter-Strike approach in these defense rounds.
Ooh, lockdown though.
It's a nice one. It's a deep one. I hate the one people use in A main. I like this. And you see that the Teo itself was designed to try and stop the players surviving in that space. It was quite interesting.
That's a lovely adaptation there. And
a little bit early maybe, Alpha.
Sure. But you know what, we take this scenario. Now, they are committing on this retake, however, Na'Vi. They want to build back in. Alpha is now in trouble. He eats that flash like he hadn't had his dinner, and Xiao tearing him down. That's 3 this round. Not going to get much more. Boaster, oh my god, have I spoken too soon? Is there something to this? One more bullet to bring into play, and I mean, what are you meant to do here? Time to back away, he knows it. He made a good go of it, but it doesn't matter. Round is Na'Vi's. Lovely from them.
Yeah, good retake. I like the fact that they use the KO ult to facilitate the retake. I keep seeing these teams with the KO use it in situations where they just end up trying to hold, but using it to facilitate a set retake is very nice. What I didn't like from Fnatic was pushing through the pit. I think that they had the Sova ult to work with, they have the Astra Suck to work with, they got the Teo Salvos to work with. They don't need to get too aggressive in these post plants. Do the Derke post plant, get a Euro in deep, and then everyone else just baits.
Yeah.
Let Kayak work. He's having a good game. Just let
him in. Yeah, and I do want to kind of look at that as how much do they get given that sort of freedom? Is that, hold on, mid-war, Chronicle, punishes Angel. Now, do they expect Koala Noob behind him? We haven't really seen Koala having too much impact yet. We were kind of complimenting his aggression in those previous series, even though it did obviously amount to a loss in the end, but Kayak's got that ult back in. I think that's the 2nd cycle already.
I love that Angel is the one pushing it first, not the operator, not the 3 aim stars around him.
No, look.
I gotta call him out.
He leads from the back lines.
He made my first cast a bit rough.
Yeah, welcome to Na'Vi. It is a trial by fire. So you can kind of see this. There is a lot of the space given over here. Now, Koala wants to keep an eye on it, and Boaster seemed very unaware that that was available. That space was there to be had. And Koala is finding these little pockets to play from, these little angles. Now, they shouldn't fall foul to it again. They should be very aware there's an operator up towards heaven. Now, Hero's going to try and work behind this, but they're playing very close towards site here. Chronicle does get down Xiao. Now, again, Chronicle's impact is really kicking up a gear. Ruxic is flank, finds nothing, and now Hero, you might as well back away from this. Now, as it stands, got to say for me, as much as we have seen a couple of these players having good games, overall, Chronicle to me has been the standout. It feels like there's a fire lit underneath him. Now, I don't know what it is. Yeah. You roll your mind back even to their game against BBL. He was their impact player in my mind. And it feels like Chronicle is now, you know, really picking up his impact. But we are seeing Kayak in that kind of 1-2 spot with him a little bit here, but still, 5-1. I just feel that was an angel round.
Well, yeah, 4v5. The B site is so difficult to retake, especially when you got the operator. Alpha had his Armageddon, we had the server.
Bro, I just pushed the leg like a crazy tank, bro.
A crazy tank. But yeah, what you're saying about Chronicle is interesting. I was here for GCC with Big Man Sliggy, and I did get to catch Chronicle and talk to him about the team a little bit, and he said that it was going to be the old players he thought that was going to be the defining factor in the team. That him, Alpha, and Boaster were going to have to kind of, you know, keep up a high level. I don't think he meant that in a way as disrespectful to the other players, but more like
they have to step up. We're seeing at least in his regard. And we do start putting question marks towards Na'Vi. This is their choice. And if you looked at the map, Veto, you'd imagine Pearl would go Na'Vi's way. And if you're going off historical stats, Fracture, Fanatic, and maybe even Fanatic as well. But as it stands, Fanatic have a point to prove, really.
Yeah, it seems like Na'Vi don't have an answer for this B-long default that Fnatic have thrown in it.
No, the only thing that's been working so far is Xiao, it feels like. This time around, Xiao's still in the feed, but it's Angel joining him. So a bit of a fight towards the B site. But the map control is still in the hands of Fnatic. They have so much space towards middle. They can pivot. They can leave Alpha to be that one to kind of split right down the middle, these two sides. How much space can he take, though?
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm not too sure what the call is for Fnatic here. It's not an easy one to solve.
No, this is just mid-rounding, kind of pull away what you have, get that information.
I always cringe a little bit going through B-Link, but
well,
down to Angel.
It's Angel. Oh. It's Ruxic. And they're fine, making it through the choke point, apparently. They've got to know there was another here, yeah. I think they're very aware of Ruxic, but that second is nuts! Alpha just got beamed down, beautiful in the end. Seemingly took Ruxic a little too lightly and got punished for it. Second for Na'Vi.
Yeah, I mean, Ruxic is a player, like, initially in Na'Vi, I don't think he's shown his full potential. I had him down as potentially the best smokes player in EMEA when he came into the league.
That's high praise for him.
Yeah, he's a very solid player. He's made me mold in many practices that we've had with his former team. I think that once he gets comfortable, he's going to be someone later in the season that I think is going to keep popping off. Hopefully it's now, and we can see some more brilliance. But maybe not fully comfortable yet.
Ooh, Ruxic. We talked about him just a moment ago. So scary, and Boaster's being pushed here too. He's got to have heard those steps. There's no way, and especially with
the adaptation from Na'Vi is they're saying we don't want you to take B long. We're going to take it from you.
And look at the util dump though, littering the ground towards A. There's a lot for them to try and get through. Fnatic maybe looking to try and expand through art or find a little bit more information. Alpha trying to maybe pave that way.
I would have liked to have seen Fnatic accelerate off of that. Like, I think Boaster was smart enough there to realize that Na'Vi were putting a lot of pressure towards B long, probably 2 or 3 people potentially, and we could have got a split coming in quicker.
Timing. Hold on. It's not Angel this time.
Obscuring vision.
A bit of a setup between the two here. Okay, that's one of them forced away. That's Koala Noob having to dip out because he got tagged by, I think there's the owl drone there, but hey, you still got Xiao close enough by.
The turret in mid was preventing them from doing anything through the doors though, so that would be it for the aggression.
So we're looking back towards the site itself. A little bit of later presence probably from Angel coming in, but Hero's happy to take contact towards the site. He's got Rookstick towards Pit. He could get overwhelmed here. Dart's going to get at least a ping on it. Angel does find Alpha. That's going to deny the support system. He could take steps forward. Xiao might fill that space, but GiantX one on the site. Fnatic starting to try and build some security here. They don't have pit control, and they don't have art control either. The site starts to feel smaller as GiantX gets spotted by Koala Noob, and it's all on Crashies. That's just too much to deal with. NAVI winning all of those extremity fights.
Yeah, they kind of double lurk through out there. The first attack came through and then a little bait, and they go again. They caught Fnatic completely off guard. I do think that, like I said earlier, they were a bit too slow towards that A site, and then even their exit itself was a bit too slow in my opinion.
That's going to shatter the cache of Fnatic. It's just Sheriff's out and about for them. That's going to be rough. A little bit of light shield, but
10 seconds left.
I wouldn't have hated a timeout right now, just because the momentum, you can feel the momentum has shifted.
Yeah. See if that costs them much. You got to feel this does go Navi's way just because of the purchase, but quite a lot of bravado in approach too. Happy to go for the orb. Take the space already A main control
just denying
as well.
some of these orbs that are coming up from Fnatic. Like Chronicle will get it this round.
Yep.
But Alpha and Kayak, those are big ults in this series.
Oh, Angel does have the smoke to dip into, but I think he's got to respect this. There's a lot of pressure there. Now he's got Xiao by his side. Maybe they could have a little glance back towards it.
Yeah, Fnatic just using the fact that they've got the weaker economy, so getting kind of into these close spaces towards the center of the map sometimes can be a good way to kind of pick up a gun, but Navi aren't going to be there to be found.
Okay, so they spot one. Do they figure out the rest? Feels like a puzzle they're just trying to piece together, but they are picking the right side of things, but they don't have Haruksik. This is madness. Look how far Haruksik's got. Oh! Kron with a stunner, leaving Koala Noob in a lot of trouble here. He can try and... Oh, there's no real safety. This is really nice.
That recon was beautiful.
Yeah, that was
from heart.
Okay, Crashies. All right, let's get a little more of that, please. Angel, Hero, and Xiao are probably baffled that this has occurred. This was never the round that was meant to be a threat. But now, they're on the chopping block. Kayak, the one to push forward towards Pit this time.
Big post-plant need to as well. We can see the servo ult and even the Killjoy ult if we need it, but Fnatic aren't going to need it.
Well, let's see. Xiao get invested. Does he go for it even? Yeah, I think he's not fancying the odds. Boaster does have the Vandal. It's Crashies who's still down on the Sheriff, so that's going to be Vandal taken away, at least from Boaster, but the round will be Fnatic's. And that feels like a compliment towards Fnatic to find the space, but Navi allowing maybe a little too much there.
Yeah,
but
I mean, we were
what do you even do?
Rookstick before, like that kind of... He almost is overcompensating, I feel like sometimes, that inexperience coming through. Like
Here it is.
He doesn't need to be on 30 frags. Like, he's in a team with good players. He doesn't need to hard carry. If he's feeling a little bit uncomfortable, like, just do your job.
Yep.
Hold that A main space. You don't need to go deep. Like, he has essentially just lost them the round, I would say.
It feels like it. That will to do a little too much gives away just that opening of space. And there was really nowhere else for, Koala to go to. He was just kind of left middle of no man's land and gets picked up.
Fnatic have got 4 big ults to see what they've got cooked up here.
Oh, look at this positioning though. This is all in. Oh my god. Xiao! He's holding this. He's sticking around as long as he can. The bravado is there. Gutsy in approach. There's members of Navi here willing to fight on this one and sends Fnatic packing.
I thought they'd have a layer before where like they would maybe, if they saw someone be long, they'd send the server ult down or something. They kind of missed that layer, I think. But again, Navi's proactivity again.
We know it. Even in a player advantage, I'd be surprised if they further it, but they're trying to stay together and... Alpha's not loving that. But Fnatic looking for opportunities. Will that lack of... I don't want to say a lack of discipline, but the want to do too much cost Navi again.
Chronicle has drawn the rotation across, so it's down to Koala Noob here.
18 HP isn't a lot, but it is an operator. This is a big angle to play from. Lots of util still with Fnatic, though.
You are divided!
Divide's going to come through. He is ahead of that currently, but you can see it. The Littering's there. He does get at least one. Takes away Alpha, but a quick trade. Fnatic very quick to make sure that threat was nullified, but a 4v3.
It's winnable though with the ults that Fnatic have. If Chronicle threw the Killjoy ult right now, it could do a lot of work.
You should run.
And let's see. So we're going to have the lockdown.
I don't know if he's going to expect Angel on the flank though.
Counter lockdown. That's going to force Crashies to fall away. This actually could be huge. Boaster just got the timing right. But it's Angel's flank that could be the undoing of all of this, and now it's all topsy-turvy. Angel is going to get one, but he seems paranoid about a flank on himself, but the time is ticking. They've got to get a move on. Boaster, just a second away! And now it's on Crashies to try and deny them. Oh no! It's gone so wrong, but the time somehow was just too close. I thought they had that.
That was crazy. There were so many elements going on there. Boaster's play, though, that was a beautiful play.
Dealing with the lockdown was incredible. And almost, I mean, he was almost the one to deny even getting that close by taking the player away from the defuse.
I do think that NAVI, we were talking about that proactivity, but leaving Koala by himself on the basis that Chronicle threw a molly on the other side of the map, I think that's a mistake from NAVI. I want to see 2 or 3 people just staying there, to be honest with you. A few rounds now where NAVI are going to be kicking themselves, in my opinion.
But that feels like the NAVI way, doesn't it? Kayak just Eco-Cobra farming his way through. I swear about that. This hasn't felt like much of a punish yet, really. NAVI, it feels like they're their own worst enemy at times watching these rounds.
Yeah, they've been, this half, on the VOD review, this could be very close. But there ain't time to VOD review. This is elimination. Yeah, and as it stands, it's Koala Noob left in a 1v5. Fnatic just rinse and repeat. That B site ready to go. And Crashy's just gonna bullet to the brain and in zone flawless. NAVI should be frustrated with this, Mini. Again, when you know a game could be closer, but it's just not working out. Feels almost worse than losing it in a clear-cut fashion. Yeah, and as we kind of alluded to earlier, Pro is the map that we presumed that if it was going to go one way, it's Navi's way, and the next 2 maps, in our opinion, should be Fnatic's.
Yeah. And not happy about it. Good coach reaction there. Do you miss those cameras?
Sorry, I didn't catch that one. I need to look in hard when we see those. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed them.
No, it was solid. Not happy is the name of that GIF that will be made. And a bit of a different look here from Fnatic. Not the same approach, a little bit of a different pace to it. Just keep an eye on where the spike decides to head towards.
I mean, Alpha going to be able to get the Armageddon. I want to see a juicy Fnatic Armageddon. I've not been impressed with a lot of the Armageddon usage across the EMEA so far. I want to see one of these juicy ones.
You think Alpha could be the one?
It's not going to be Alpha. It's going to be the strat they've built around Alpha.
Well, NAVI doing NAVI things. Having a wonder. And Hero's positioning could be, I mean,
it's going to be some kind of fake here, and then a B-split, looks like.
And it's just green light. That's 3 players seen. That's huge for Kayak.
Draws out Decay as well.
And he's done so much. I'm even looking at them, considering, I don't think they're going to rotate, but they're looking elsewhere for a second. It's a 1-for-1 trade out. Rixik does take away Crashies, but they continue on. Koala, who couldn't quite get the knives out in time. Fnatic now taking towards the site. You're looking at this being tricky, though. Does Angel make the play? No, it's Kayak again finding Shout from the back lines. This man is a nuisance. He's a bit of a nightmare. Angel and Hero. How are you meant to get around this? Kayak could be anywhere. You got Kron and Boaster in a post plant. You two are going to be burnt up at least.
But Suck's still online for Boaster.
Oh, this is so rough. And Chronicle's been clean with these sort of rounds. Again, Impact. This guy is just on a heater any time. Fnatic needs a closer. Chronicle is there. 9-3. Fnatic looking like they want to make a statement here.
Navi going to need the 9-3 curse that Fnatic fell to last time.
They're going to need a lot more than that bloody curse. They need, I don't know what they need, but they ain't been having it here. There's been 3 rounds they've been able to find. And this is going to be a frustrating one, I'm sure, for them. I need to see a bit more here. I wanted to see a 3-mapper. The way this is going, it might be over in 2. But we have a little bit of a treat here. A halftime interview with Yinzu and Derke.
apparently the Derke buff is real as well, even when he's not in the server. Thank you very much for joining me, Derke. First of all, I gotta ask, Kron was looking insane out there. Do you think it has something to do with the glitch pop Vandal? It feels like he's nicked your gun skin.
Yeah, I mean, 100% my skin works always, especially in these games, kind of like, I don't know, I had to teach him something. Yeah.
Yeah, magical, magical. I think we should all pick up the glitch pop Vandal as well. Now, when you were on Fnatic, Pearl was a bit of a permaban. You guys never wanted to play it. So do you feel like maybe something's changed with the map? Are you surprised that this team all of a sudden want to play this map?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at them right now. I'm a bit surprised that they cooked something, because with me it didn't work really that much, but I don't know, maybe it's the Tejo too.
What do you think were the issues with Pearl originally that maybe they managed to iron out?
I think I fell asleep with that map. It was too boring for me.
You're so real for that. And of course, you mentioned the Tejo, and Alpha is playing it. I think we kind of theorized maybe Kron could do it, maybe Crashies could do it. Do you think Alpha is the right choice on Tejo?
I know Alpha loves to explode stuff. Like, he loves to play Raze and stuff, so I guess they didn't let him play Raze, would let him play Tejo at least. So I think that's the reason.
You like it?
So far, yeah.
All right, you got the Derke approved. And lastly, of course, the side's about to swap. The op is going to be quite important. Boaster was opping on the attack side. Do you feel like he should do that on the defense as well?
Yeah, for sure. He's an opper. I always told him, like, if I need to drop someone the op, I'll drop him.
As wholesome as always. Thank you so much, Derke, for joining me. And let's see if Fnatic can close us out in the second half.
Wow. So you just made them go in. Your strats were so boring.
Yeah.
The Derke was just like, never put me on Pearl.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do distinctly remember Derke. I had him be long for most of the pracs, and he's like...
Sit on B long.
I'm so bored. I cannot play this map. I'm just on B long.
Okay.
Got a telescope, a 4th, what is it, a $5 telescope.
Oh, bless him. But, you know, it seems that, at least for now, they're perfectly happy. So it was you and Derke who were the problem.
Yeah, we're the problems.
Navi now on the attack, of course, Fnatic on the defending side. And away we go. So Fnatic going to have a full idea of what's going their way. And Crashies goes, I don't want to stick around.
Very
I'd like
fast
to leave.
approach from Navi. Let's see if Fnatic go for the flood here. They do have numbers here.
We've got a whole lot of util really close by. Want to see if Crashies does commit any of the darts towards it. I think a couple of those shock darts did go in, but that's about it.
They opted for the set retake. Let's see what they've got cooked up here. They wouldn't ever be in this situation unless they got something cooked.
Boaster having a yap. Alpha going to use that drone to go in, try and get a little bit of that info. We're gonna, I mean, could focus on backside. Yeah, looks like that's where it's directed towards. And then Kayak gonna fill that space, but it's Hero to take away Boaster. All the util in the world won't be able to take away all these players. Crashies down to 6, and Shao still firing. This is getting a little bit dicey for Fnatic. With Crashy so low, it's hard to find that impact. Shao gonna fight him comfortably. And now the fight back from Alpha, but the time is ticking. They've got to try and deal with this now. Do they have full faith to hold it down? Angel and Ruxic digging in their heels, simplistic in approach. It's enough to get the job done.
What I love from Navi, though, is what we see from a lot of teams is when they go towards the B side of the map is they take B long, they hesitate, and then they go. And by the time that hesitation happens, you'll see a flood come in and there's 3 or 4 people. Navi didn't hesitate and beat the flood, which puts you in a beautiful position. Because I'm a broken record. That B retake is not fun.
See what the buy is, because this is where we saw it kind of being a little bit topsy-turvy almost before, where it was a really costly second round for Fnatic. Can Navi keep it clean here themselves? You've got Koala Noob with the Vandal.
Alpha with the Bucky. I'm impressed.
Are you?
I am impressed, yeah.
Why?
This is the kind of guy who'd be like, I'm not using a Bucky, I'm a aim god, you know what I mean?
Right. And so you think you've broken Alpha?
The change in mentality from Alpha, accepting the cringe guns. Like, that's what I want to see.
I don't know if I like it.
There we go.
Oh, no, don't reward this, but it's fine. It's all good. I mean, they could afford to lose these amount of players. It's keeping those bigger weapons in place. Kayak.
Spike player.
Yeah, Navi a little better at the Navi buy, it seems.
Who'd have thought it? But look.
Or maybe not.
Quite good. I think they can lose 1 Bulldog. Yeah, I mean, not the best, not the worst. You take those. You get the round. You keep the the expensive item still up. But can we just take a moment to appreciate that Xiao's on 18-8, and the closest down below him would be Ruxic on 8 kills. This guy is having a bit of a series.
Oh, there needs to be like a keyword or a person's name.
A safe
one of those games.
Oh.
Nice! Let's go!
Where someone's got like a huge amount of frags, but you kind of didn't notice it. Because I didn't even have a clue that Xiao's just got 18 kills. You know what I mean?
Xiao's been farming. He's been
or you've okay, never mind. I'm just a terrible analyst.
If you're just reading the kill feed, that's my job, all right? You know, that's all I do.
I didn't feel that Xiao was having a bigger game as this.
Fair enough. As it stands, let's see how Kayak holds up under pressure. Going to be kept in on the site, does have Boaster there as well. Koala Noob trying to string his way forward, but it's Hero to find Oh! How did he get the second there as well? Hero, lovely work from him. He'll be happy with that one. That facilitates the plant. That's going to come in, and we look at the post plant here. Crashy still has util. Alpha, I don't know how long, 27 seconds. He's got a long time for his util to come back on, so not going to be the keyest factor. Timing here is, he should be dead. Xiao should be dead, and he is. Didn't expect the angle, and Alpha doesn't need util apparently. Just the gun in his hand, and he's good to go. And now we've got distance here. Ruxic and Hero, you got much for this post plant. Early investment of the util, but is suppressed here. Has to be just the guns that they brought in on this one. Fnatic making this hurt now. This took a moment, but it's getting there. Ruxic's in a world of trouble. And dealt with in the end. Fnatic pulling this back and getting double digits so quickly.
Alpha has just bailed them out completely there. The frags from Alpha and that retake.
Yep, absolutely.
If he didn't get them, that was over. I was about to start praising NAVI for once again just being very simple in that approach, but being direct and fast towards that B side of the map is not something we see often right now. But I think it's a meta adaptation that I want to see from more teams, to be honest with you. Punishing these teams who aren't flooding that B site quick enough with numbers. Fnatic only had 2 people there, and the hold wasn't great. Unfortunately, the kind of rhythm now is going to be a bit different. After Navi losing a round like that, is Angel's going to have the kind of sense that like that could be something we can continue to work with? Or is he going to kind of bottle it a little bit? Because you can't keep rushing B, but it looked pretty good.
It did. Navi, different look. Oh, the flash. How is Kayak alive? I thought that was so perfect.
This is all a ruse. It looks like another little fake attempt in
Where's Crashies
here.
Yeah, like back in my mind, I'm waiting on the Crashies swing on this one, or if he gets pushed here. Koala Noob melted down. Fnatic were doing so good, but Alpha just caught sleeping at the wheel, it feels. Maybe unaware of the space could have been taken, or not reading it right, but I quite like this. But now it's going to be noted. Angel already aware of that push out towards A main.
You should run.
Chronicle slipping back towards site. This feels where Kron's going to get a few, but he's up against Xiao, and Xiao has been just as good. Crashy is going to pick up the mantle. Looks for some more targets. Ruxic trades out. This is now going to be awkward and uncomfortable round, but Hero again blazing through these sites. Kayak's on 5 HP, but Chronicle from the back lines brings it into a 2v2.
He just needs to stay alive and wait for Kayak now on the flank.
Yeah, but the reposition here from Hero is really hard to keep a bit of a beat on. He knows that this space is clear. Surely this keeps Ruxic's eyes elsewhere. Maybe towards Art. Maybe towards main, and that 5 HP should be the depth of him, and it is. Na'Vi back in with a chance now.
A bit of a messy round, but I did want to highlight there that Hero's reposition, even when he first joined Fnatic last year, I was very impressed with his lurking. Like, lurking is a very difficult trait to have, especially as a rookie player. And I think those little moments, it reminds me of a little bit of Nat's kind of style, where it's like, okay, I've been seen in this position. Oh wait, no, I've repositioned. And that was a beautiful timing from Hero, just to secure the round.
People are going to be very disappointed, Minnie, because you're not flaming Fnatic very much.
I can't.
That's what they're here
when they were winning 10-4, was it?
Well,
I
it's 10-6 now, isn't it? We're seeing Buckies everywhere.
Right, let me lock in.
Yeah. Come on now. Let's get to work here. I'm kidding. By the way, feel free to be positive. They are doing good things, you know. For now, we are looking at a light purchases. If Boaster or Alpha can
I was setting up a situation where I was like unimpressed with their B-hold, but then Navi threw, so it kind of, you know what I mean?
You can't say that. People in Sliggy's chat will be upset because they can't even write the word throw.
It's different on my channel. I encourage that.
Yeah, this round, I don't want to say it's a throwaway round, because there's always some danger to it. Yeah, Buckies are Buckies, but it's Classics and Sheriffs beyond that. But I feel like Fnatic look good here.
Buckies, again, what have they been cooking?
Second
I guess
Julie.
the center of the map is quite short range, I guess.
Yeah. But again, the way you made a player's map, boring. Now, thrilling. We got Buckies. We're having a sick time. Alpha's just lobbing stuff.
He was about to ult.
Oh god.
He has ulted.
Ooh.
Okay, here we go. Here we go.
Lock in, ladies and gents.
What on earth is Alpha Year doing? What is he doing, guys? What's he doing? In 4v5, we've got 2 Buckies and 2 Classics, and he's throwing an Armageddon down?
Oh, dearie me.
I think that might be the best ult in the game, and he's just wasted it. That's, I mean...
criminal. It is criminal.
I saw some of those ults on Abyss in his last game, and I was getting ready.
Yep.
I think Alpha needs a bit of work on some of those ults.
And there's a Fnatic timeout. Is this the chat you're having?
Yeah, this is
Alpha? Alpha, what's...
If you can hear me, Alpha.
put me in. I'm going back down. Just put on the headphones. Yeah, timeout. If you do look at the string of rounds in this half as well, it has been, 2 a break and then 2, so 4-1 on this half. And when you're starting seeing some questionable ults, that used to be you on the camera up there. Going back to Coach Cam.
I missed it again.
Yeah, look, there it is. There you are. You'd be sat over there.
I preferred being alone, to be honest.
I hated my co-workers.
No.
I want to take it out of context. No, let me take it out of context.
Okay,
Come on, fun. I'm not blaming you. You just said you'd prefer to be alone.
Yeah, I guess that kind of does flame Elma, doesn't it?
Elma, you had a negative impact on what I was doing and my enjoyment. Well, hopefully that's not the case now, but 7-10, let's see what the correction is.
I had to be a different person when I was with Elma. I couldn't be the stressful person. I couldn't do a Zysh.
Yeah, we wouldn't get a mini squeeze when you were there.
I had to go through it myself.
I see. Right.
Couldn't be that negative energy in the room.
7-10 now. Is there a solution for Fnatic here? Because they've hit I don't want to say a brick wall. That's a little bit too strong. But they've had a couple issues now. They've been starting to struggle it. And Alpha is going to hear the stampede. Oh dear. Okay, at least Crashies is going to have that impact and try and slow this massive pace change from Navi, who just shifted up a gear. Nice off angle, but Ruxic lands it. And Derke's Vandal still does the damage it needs to. Oh, Chronicle! There's something about it! But Xiao outdoes him, keeps this in a 2v2. Plant should be up next here. You've got GiantX with that operator, tough in a post-plant now. That's going to be spiked down. How do they play this post-plant as well? Boaster creeping a little bit closer. Hero, he's still on side. Oh, the timing! GiantX gonna be furious! And Hero does get Boaster down as well. And that gear shift absolutely shattered Fnatic.
I was gonna say that the 9-3 half, that's what happened last time. Fnatic's defenses have been a little bit shaky sometimes. They're looking like it again here. Some of the win conditions not being used. I want to point out, I did watch Fnatic's off-season VOD where they played the same comp, but they had the ISO instead of the tail.
Okay.
They'd used that setup twice where Alpha was behind that box.
So that's going to be something that if you're Na'Vi, you're probably prepped for?
Using a setup where you've got to not get spammed is not a very consistent setup. To see it come out from a timeout is a pretty bold decision.
Yeah, no, bold's a nice word for it. And they're going to face the consequences to this. They have now got a broken buy here. We've got Sheriffs and a couple of SMGs sprinkled through. They do have a massive ult cycle hitting, but that'll be probably for next round, assuming that, there's no big ability to close out a round, and a stack as well towards B.
Yeah, I think that my adjustment would have been more about... I think I put one of Chronicle's mollies towards this B side of the map to help with the floods in and the delay. And then just keep it simple towards that A side of the map. Stop playing we're playing Fnatic are over-committing on A side. Again, is it easier side to retake? B, we want to hold a bit more.
And for Na'Vi, you're looking at them keeping it simple and approach. They don't need to overdo too much here. Have far superior weapons.
Yeah, if Fnatic get anything in on the round, that they do have the ults to kind of convert if they do choose to gamble that.
It would be, yes, Crashies, if anything, to... Oh, excuse me, Chronicle, if anything, to try and start something off, but I doubt NAVI overpush this. You know what you're up against.
Then from Fnatic, looks like.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind on the time here, 17 seconds, and it is Quan to get that first blood drawn, but they don't have side control and they don't have the plant. If they can pour bodies on at the right time, this could get dangerous. Yeah, and you're right, Sova on top. Crashies, we're seeing those win cons come in, but the plant does go down. Alpha trying to gap close. Crashies gets another. Catching out Hero, hold on. Maybe there's still some danger here. Crashies, you got a little bit of magic for us now. 2 kills already, only a Sheriff, and in a post-plant like this, so difficult. Great tag on Rooksik. But now you look at the ults.
Yep.
Now you look at the util. He knows that this is uphill. He's got a mountain to climb, 4 bullets at best, 10 on a reload. An Angel slowly but surely should be the death of him. NAVI taking another step now.
Yeah, Fnatic gave themselves an opportunity there, but again, the low economy it is what it is. NAVI are able to close out that round. I did like the ult from Crashies. It looked like it was 0.1 second away from actually coming in with a round potentially. Yeah, literally just as it went down. Oh, that's brutal as well. That recon bang.
Yeah. I mean, it was close. It was close. But this half is starting to feel oppressive. It's starting to get that little bit of worry, you know what I mean? You're starting to feel like, uh-oh, we're really struggling on some of these.
No kind of change up from Fnatic. They're just relying on this kind of 3 towards the A side of the map with Kayak towards long B.
Is that what you'd go for? Ideal scenario?
Scanning ahead.
I think, as I said, I want more delay towards B in case NAVI do pull that trigger again.
So what does that look like, practically?
Again, like the Killjoy Nano being there.
Right, okay, yeah.
Maybe Alpha needs to be on a faster rotation towards B, potentially. On the A side of the map, we need to stop getting caught front sight.
Okay.
I want to see us peel off and just delay the spike, get that recon in and get some wall bangs.
Well, we saw how close that retake was in just that previous round with light weaponry, so I feel like the theory is absolutely spot on, but a cautious display from NAVI. Hard to get that beat on the tempo they want to run. That's the operator heard. No surprises. And a crunch, maybe, towards
we saw this before from, I can't remember which team it was, where they used the Savage behind, but Alpha just going for a solo play. A little bit desperate, in my opinion.
The flames kicking up here, guys. We're going to have to touch in on that, because this is not what you want to be seeing, but Crashy's now put under pressure. He does have support here as well. Chronicle trying to watch towards that main side, so both of them standing shoulder to shoulder, but do they get away with daylight robbery or do they not? Chronicle does. 13 seconds now. NAVI are going to be under pressure to get that spike down. Koalanu keeping the site secure, but they've lost out on main. Plant's going to be in. Kayak trying to close the gap. Where does NAVI go for this post plant? This is a lot of util and a lot of ults now ready to go. Where the hell do they go?
Shao was just a tiny bit late on that KO, otherwise he would have denied this Killjoy ult.
And Hero, he's fine. He's got the cross here, spots one. Oh, the lovely push and pull between the two of them. Chronicle's the one to get the bullet in the brain of him, but it doesn't matter. Down to the last two here, Koalanu and Shao. All three from Fnatic on the site. Koalanu takes away one. It's down to Shao, who's been a monster. And time, oh, Kayak! He does have the time. He should have the defuse. And they get away with it being so close again.
That weapon switch is beautiful. I didn't expect it. The op shot straight into the rifle, instant headshot. Kayak is having a wonderful game, to be honest.
He's having a go of it, yeah. Catching up to Kron now. But that start, let's roll our minds back as well. Alpha trying to make these plays happen. I feel like that wasn't necessary.
It feels like they're a bit disorientated and they're not remembering how to play this defense. I think that fundamentally, we meme about not being good at pro, but we knew some of the fundamentals of this map, and they're not following them right now.
Yeah, because that feels like that came down to Hero individual moments between Kron, between even Crashies and Kayak having that impact there as well. I want to see Fnatic look a little bit more solid on those foundations. We do have Navi's money a little on the ropes, though. That is something to note. We've got a Bulldog out for Koalanu. We still have that ult there for Rooksik and one off from Hero. But outside of that, this is where it gets into that bit of a crunch time. Fnatic could just squeeze the win out of this one. Off angle for Kayak. Oh, Kron, this guy. Absolute beautiful play from him. Kayak's in a bit of a spot of bother. Doesn't need to wait to get away. Does just about get away from that.
But again, if Navi strike right now is just Kayak and Boaster to hold, we're not seeing the rotation across from anyone else.
High flash in from Shout. They start to go. Koala Noob's already going to be trying to pressure that backside. I mean, the pre-fight just wasn't there, and Kayak is just holding it down now. This corner is just a blender of bodies. Navi left in tatters, and it looked desperate from them, leaving Hero in a 1v5. No spike down, no teammates.
30 seconds
30
left.
seconds. Can he isolate a kill? Can he find a chance? Looking around, you've got two over towards that connector. One towards CT and one backside. This is not the place you're to go for, but Fnatic doing well here. But it felt a little one-dimensional from Navi on the approach in the end.
Yeah, but not... If I was to take a gamble, like if I was to take the odds, I feel like Navi were in a decent position to win that round. Kayak had to come alive once again to bail out Fnatic, in my opinion. If I'm doing a BXAC and I know there's an Astra and a Euro stuck in jail, well, I call it jail backside, whatever you call it, I'm taking them.
Okay. The other big point I have to bring up, you can't see it right now, but the money for Navi is not good. I can see at least a Vandal on Xiao, but I want to see if they can get everything. I think there will be players missing.
Yes.
There'll be light shields. There will be issues coming up for them. They do have a couple of ults. They do have the Astra Divide and, of course, the lockdown with Killjoy. That's the only options they have. For Fnatic, full purchase. Operator there for Kayak. And we do have the Divide as well with Boaster on Astra. So there is that. And I think Kayak's not that far off his ult either one or two away. I'm not quite too sure. But if there's a slam dunk round you've got, if you're an RV, something a little gimmicky, you know, a one and done, maybe now's the time. You don't have any more.
It'll be off the Killjoy Astro. I imagine they're going to call something off of. I wouldn't mind seeing Kayak change position here. I think he's been B-long a little bit too much. Me forcing Derke in practice on the B-long a bit too much. It's the same thing happening here. I wouldn't mind him going for a pick somewhere. He's got the Euro TP. It's not the same as the Jet. We can use the TP one side of the map, go for a pick somewhere else. We can be back on that B line quick enough to do anything we need to. But it looks like it's going to be the same approach for Fnatic, keeping it simple.
And yeah, there's that bite. Stinger, Guardian. They've been able to at least get 3 proper rifles.
Angel doing a little bit of conditioning towards B-long, trying to keep this Euro away. But Kayak has changed positions.
That's what you wanted to see. Whether or not it's going to find validity, we wait. That's an audio cue heard. Kayak now prepares. Stunning start. Koala Noob going down. They can maybe filter the weapon through. It's already been picked up here. But still, down to 4 players is far from perfect. And that was through middle. They don't even get space towards sides. Double face here. If they swing, they do off the back of the turret. That's nice. That's what you want to be seeing. Finally, Fnatic looking like they're getting stuff in a row here. Playing as a collective rather than individuals. But Rooksik and Angel going to have to go above and beyond for their side. And Angel almost got caught there. But now Divide's going to go through, and the plant's on the cards.
I'll handle this.
The Divide for Fnatic too, so Navi can't do anything off-site here. They're going to have to get up close.
On Kayak trying to find a victim, finding a target. You can see him trying to eye it up. Flash goes in. He's going to have to pull himself towards the side, but just going to play back in on this. Rooksik's still fine here. Still trying to play a little bit closer. Rooksik gets swung. He can't do anything. Fnatic just about starting to pick it up towards the end there. Navi getting very close to getting those 10 rounds, but not to be. 13-9 on map 1. Is that good enough in your mind?
Absolutely. That's Navi's map pick. They took it away from them. That's more than enough from Fnatic.
Fair play. That's what we're going to leave it on. You do not want to miss the next maps, though, if this one is anything to go by.
Number one thing, boys. Trust each other, trust the calls, trust our practice, okay? Get that done, we'll come up.
Red Bull gives you wings.